I'm early. Haha. I'm all proud because I'm early. I'm still in my what I wore to bed actually. My little Golden Girls shirt. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, I know. I was planning on doing a Murdoch. I might do Murdoch later because there is some stuff I wanted to talk about. But I just got a email because I subscribed to that Airmail. So they have a new article. And then I realized I must not have saw the notification where they did do part 3 of that, The Eyes of a Killer, where I read part 1 and part 2. I linked the 2, my 2 videos I did that, it's linked in the description if you haven't seen those. So 1 was a live. The part 1 when I read it was actually a live stream. Part 2, I did a pre-recorded and read it. Um, and then I'm gonna read part 3 here, and then there's another article that they just did yesterday that's not part 3, it's just another article about, like, incels and Bryan Kohberger and stuff, so I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting to read it for you guys, and then hey, spicy lady. Yeah, they actually put it out on the 11th, but I just must have missed it. They put it out, like, set like, what, 8 days ago, and I must have missed the notification, but the other one that they just put out was from yesterday, so there's 2 I'm gonna read. It's so weird because they say on that part 3, it says that it was gonna take 9 minutes to read, and I, like, scrolled through it. There's no way that you could read that in 9 minutes, the way that's written, and that other one said, like, 23 minutes, I think, and if you look at my pre-recorded, it's, like, an hour or 40, I think it's, like, 40 minutes to an hour, something, but it was not, it was, like, oh, like, double over the amount that they or say that it's gonna take to read, so they must expect some really speed readers. I'm like, "What?" Let me make sure because I know the one said 9 minutes. I'm pretty sure the Eyes of the Killer Part 3 said, yeah, it says 9 minutes. Watch how long it takes me to read. It's not it's probably, like, at least a half hour. Um, wait, what is this? Wait. Hi, Zev. Have you seen where Ann Taylor is pissed about mainstream media calling and coming to her office, taking pictures with big lenses and refusing to leave? I haven't seen any pictures of her employee. Oh, no, I didn't even know they were doing that. Really? Huh. Hey, Alibi. Hi, Tressa. I didn't even see the outlines. I just because I've always just read the whole articles. Hey, Go Batman, Anna. Let me say hi to you guys now because when I start reading it, I'll probably just read it straight through. Maybe I'll take a break because it is, you know how they write these. So if I mispronounce words, it's sometimes even words that you normally could pronounce, but when you're reading like live and it's like so much you're already saying, it's like it's almost like your mouth gets tired and you can't like say words, at least mine do. It'll be like normally I'll be like, normally I can pronounce that word, but for some reason my mouth's like tired, it cannot pronounce it. And then some words I just don't know how to pronounce. So just forgive me if I say words wrong, but I'm gonna try my best. I just know that they use really like not common words, which I'm not sure why they do that. They're really well written articles, but they don't need to necessarily use those words, I don't think. I mean, some of them, why not just use because there's a couple, like, I'd have to look up what the definition of some of them are. You shouldn't have to do that so often but I guess it could be good because then it could teach you new words, I guess, but I don't know. Um, all right, so yeah, I know I do want to talk about Murdoch too. So let me try to do this real quick. Um, like I said, I was gonna just do a pre-recorded, but it would take me a lot longer just to even do that and try to edit it. And I was like, at least this way I get to have like do it like feel like I'm not alone reading it. And then depending on how long this goes, I could try to uh do the Murdoch stuff. Not in the same live though. I'll start a new live. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just seeing who's here. Hey, Osane. Hey, Jamie. Dolores. I get it back. I lost my green. What do you mean? Boo sheet, nice. Oh, Alibi, thanks for joining. Who's a Golden Girl? Okay, Jamie, who's a Golden Girls fan? I love Golden Girls. Can you oh, wait, here we go. Who's your favorite? My nephew, my 12-year-old nephew, like, binge watches Golden Girls. He watches all this. He loves them. And I was like, he always asks me who my favorite is, and I'm like, "Who's his?" So Dorothy is his favorite. And I would say Dorothy's mine too because Dorothy makes all the other women funny. You know what I'm saying? Like her interaction with all of them makes everybody else funny. Like they're all funny, but like the way she interacts makes each one funnier, I feel like. So I would have to go with what my nephew. I think Dorothy's probably my favorite. But I mean they're all awesome. Like Rose reminds me of my well, I guess before I lived with my grandma Mary, I don't know now. It's hard to tell because she's, got Alzheimer's and stuff, dementia. I don't even know which one. I mean, I honestly don't know if it's dementia or Alzheimer's that my grandma has. But oh, I got to tell you a story about her at the end. Remind me the other day. Oh my God, she had me and my mom laughing so hard. So anyway, so when growing up, before I actually lived with my grandma, I used to always think, oh my God, Rose reminds me of my grandma. Like my grandma was like younger growing up. For some reason, I'm always like, that's how my grandma would be. But now getting to know her a little bit better, I'm not sure so much. But just like not knowing, not living with her and just like your perception of my grandma, I always thought it would be like Rose. Blanche is the little, Blanche is the little slut one. She's funny though. And then Sophia. But I think, yeah, I'd have to say Dorothy. The way she interacts, she's so funny. Why am I pointing? I don't know why I'm doing that, but anyway, no, I can't so on YouTube side, but I'm always on the StreamYard side, so I never get to see them. What can somebody tell me how long? Thank you, Journey. How long have you been? Yours is Sophia. Everybody write their favorite. Okay, Betty. Okay. So yours is Rose. But like, okay, if you're talking about in real life, like what you think who would be like the best person, I would probably say Rose, Betty. But like as characters, now, if you were to ask me growing up when I was younger, I would say Rose. But now, like older, understanding like Dorothy's genius on how she interacts, like how she makes them funny by like her, I feel like she just makes them more funny and kind of being like understand the humor a little bit more. That's why I think I'm going to change it to Dorothy. But if you were to ask me like growing up, I would say Rose. But now I would say Dorothy. But if I had to pick two, it'd be Dorothy and Rose are my favorite. Um, Aw. Yeah, and she, like, makes them all funny. Think about her interaction with each of them is what really think about all the times you laugh. It's probably most of the time when Dorothy is interacting with them because her, like, sarcastic personality and the way she interacts, like, makes it funnier. Like, she brings out the funniness in all of them, I feel like, because of her personality and the sarcastic, like, way that she brings out their humor. Like, I feel like but I didn't understand that as good, like, growing up, but now I see it and I'm like, "Wow, she" yeah, Dorothy. Anyway, okay, so yeah, Sophia's the little I mean, she's, like, unique in her own way. Like, I almost feel like you have to put her off she's, like, separate. She's not, but, she's hilarious. But also, like, Sophia mixed with Dorothy, like, it's just that Dorothy brings out the funniest parts, I feel like. Um Or how Dorothy makes fun of Rose, you know what I'm saying? Or how she makes fun of Blanche, and it's just it makes it funny, or how, like, their funniness makes it funny, or how Dorothy, like, just makes I don't know, it's just so funny. You guys are making me wanna watch that tonight now. Alright, I better get started. I haven't watched it in a minute, but I've seen them all. Like, I used to binge them, and then, I binge it, and then you would start seeing reruns again, so then you take a break, and, how many years you just keep going over and watching it. So freaking funny. And it's awesome. My 12-year-old nephew is watching it now. Like, he thinks it's hilarious, like a 12-year-old. Can't I mean, that when, like, a old show like that could still have be relevant and still be funny for like generation, like a 12, like this generation, my nephew, like that's showing you how good that show is. Okay. All right. Hey, crimes have consequences. How are you? All saying, yeah. Feisty little Sicilian. Yeah, she is. She is. I love them all now, don't get me wrong, but if you had to pick a favorite, I know that's why I always growing up I loved her because her ditziness and she would she would always make me laugh. But then, like I said, as getting older, I realized without Dorothy, you almost wouldn't see how and you would see how dumb she is, but like Dorothy always calls her her dumbness out and makes it even funnier. So that's what I'm like, yeah, all those times that like I'm like, oh my god, Rose is hilarious, she's my favorite, but then I see the genius of Dorothy making it even more funnier. So then it's like, you know what? Yeah, I think Dorothy is where it's at. I think she's the one that really brought out the humor in all of it. Okay, so don't forget your funny story. Okay, yes, I'm gonna write this down because I do want to get started on the article. Hold on. Remind me. I'll save that for last. Funny. Watch, I'm gonna write it real big. Funny. Okay. It just happened yesterday. Maybe you guys won't think it's as funny, but it was funny to us with my grandma. All right, let's do this. Yeah, the way they work together. That's why it's so funny. They just had the best chemistry. No, she was a lot. Yeah, there was no hiding that. She was a little promiscuous girl. I mean, she was bragged about that. That was her thing. Dorothy's was being like sarcastic and just like basically making fun of everybody, but in like such a genius way. And then Rose was just her dumb. She's so dumb. And then yeah, I guess for Sophia, a little Spitfire. Hers was what would be the best character? I mean, Spitfire, but what is another character or way to describe Sophia? I don't know, help me out. She was unique. All right, let me share my screen. What do you guys want me to read first? You want me to read the All Eyes or Eyes of a Killer Part 3? I'll read part 3 first and then I'll read the new one. What do you think? Yeah, I think that's the way I should do it because part 3 came out before the new one came out. All right, hold on. Let me wait, that can't be right. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that's not right. All right. All right. Wait, I thought the Netflix already was out. Oh, that was the HBO. Never mind. Yeah, that's what I heard. That the CNN, is it CNN, is gonna put so I'm not gonna get the HBO. They're gonna put that 3-part series so I don't have to get the HBO so I could watch it through there. So I was kind of waiting. Thanks. All right, let me share my screen here. I already shared it, so let me just bring it up. So we're gonna do Eyes of a Killer. Eyes of a Killer Part 3. Whew, I should have done mouth exercises with the way these are written. Oh lordy. Okay. Wish me luck, guys. Okay. Whew, I should be like, you know how like singers do. Oh Lord. It's a mouthful. Okay. Gosh, my mom talks so loud. Can you hear her? She's on the phone. Okay. So we have Eyes of a Killer Part 3. The investigation into the murders of 4 University of Idaho students was crowdsourced for better and worse. So like I said, I have part 2 and part 1 and 2. I have the links in my description if you want to hear those. Okay, so everybody is looking for love, right? Love is all you need. At least that's what they keep telling you. So why should you be any different? You have needs too. So you just sit in your room and scroll through Facebook or Insta or talk Oh, is that what they call TikTok now? Talk? I didn't realize they call it talk. Okay. And there they are. It might as well be Tinder, all of them looking so pretty. And there's the best part. And here's the best part. They don't have any idea you're staring at them, following their every post, checking out every move they make, every tasty smile they flash. It's your reassuring secret. Because if they don't know, they can't turn you down. There's no one smirking telling you to get real or to get real, dude. There's no one telling you to get lost. So you just keep looking and looking and looking, and you keep thinking, I want it, I want it, I want it. Only you know what they're thinking. You can't have it. Want to bet? Oh, shoot. Yes, it might very well have begun like that. Defiance born out of desperation. Still, of course, it is an impossibility to glimpse into Bryan Kohberger's chaotic internal world. His thought dreams remain unseen, unshared, and no less a governor on speculation. He is, for now, at most, and at worst, only the accused. His culpability for the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho college students remains to be established beyond reasonable doubt in the rigorous precinct of a courtroom. Nevertheless, in a perplexing case that has stirred a national whirlwind of conjecture, there still are touchstones that beg for scrutiny. The search for truth, it might very well be argued, is the search for a better hypothesis. And one place to start, tantalizing clues perhaps, is an inquiry into the role that social media played. For it has seemingly ignited the combustible sparks, if not supplied the raw hot fuel. In so many intertwined aspects of this grim saga, from the fanciful plotting of the murders to the dogged hunt for a killer, to the nasty, overwrought diatribes pointing accusatory fingers at innocents, to the insolent, snarling attacks on those who dare to dip into the murky trough that contains the submerged secrets floating below the surface of this horrific crime. Now, let me make this a little bit bigger. Ooh, nope, that's not going to work. Hold on. I want to make it like we could probably do. Wait, it won't even let you go in between? I thought it did. It's not letting me. All right, we'll just have to stay here. Can you guys read it though? Maybe if I go like this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just in case you want to read along. Where are we at? Sorry. Okay, we did the snarling attacks on those who, okay, yeah, accusatory. The dogged killer, to the nasty, overwrought diatribes pointing accusatory fingers at innocents, to the insolent, snarling attacks on those who dare to dip into the murky trough that contains the submerged secrets floating below the surface of this horrific crime, all coalesce in a single intriguing premise. We are living through one of the first major crimes of the social media age, and the internet, for better and worse, has changed the narrative entirely. A warning label. At precisely 8:57 p.m. on the last day of her life, in the midst of a busy Saturday bustling with a flurry of convivial activities generated by a football game in a college town. Oh, hi, Mark Klein. Sorry, I won't keep doing that. Anyway, Kaylee Gonzalez paused before getting out for a night at the corner club bar with her best friend, Madison Mogan. She posted a series of photos on her Instagram account, which she captioned, "One lucky girl to be surrounded by these people every day." The photos are a cheery collection of his 6 college kids, the youngest 19, the oldest 21, bursting with bright-eyed good looks and future promise. They were meant to be, it appears, visual testimony to the fun the students were having, to the blessings a munificent life had generously bestowed on them. In those frozen moments, it seems incredible, no, impossible, that within hours 4 of them will be dead. How could destiny be so unforgiving? How could it even summon up the malicious power to overwhelm such simple joy? Yet, of course, fate had, as always, the last cruel laugh. It is now forever of the dismal history of our time that Ethan Chapin, Xana Coronado, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez, in the gray half-light before the dawn of the following day, were ruthlessly murdered by a knife-wielding assailant. And it is a tragedy that has bestowed an unanticipated significance on one of the most frequently reproduced photos from Kaylee's last day trove. In retrospect, one can almost hear a muffled drumbeat of the cataclysm that is surging relentlessly forward. At the time, though, it might have seemed nothing special. One more glimpse into the exuberant, self contained universe of a group of happy go lucky college kids. Another post in an ongoing series that documented this merry band of brothers and sisters. Hold on one second. Wait, hold on one second, okay? Oh, I didn't need to do that. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I do. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Where are we at? All right, so where are we at? Hi, Karen. Mez. Sandy. All right. Ed Mag, what's up? Okay. Oh, shoot, where are we at? Okay, so did we do this another post? Yeah, documenting Mary Band of Brothers. Okay. So in the photo, there are the 6 of them posing on a narrow porch in the bright autumnal light. Yet the arrangement, however haphazard, has the intimations of a deliberate iconography, which I don't even know what's an iconography. Like, you know what I'm saying? Did I know? Am I stupid? Hold on, let me see. Iconography. What is that? Does anybody know what that is? Well, I'm going to tell you. Iconography. Iconography. Graphy. Definition. The visual images and symbols used in a work of art or the study of interpretation of these. Okay. I didn't know that. Iconography. Okay. Where are we at? It might as well be a foretelling of what is to come. For at each end of the row, as if bookends to the main drama, are the 2 young women who will be the sole survivors of the carnage that is oh my god, I can't even say that right now. Inexorably approaching. Why can't I say that word right now? Inexorably. Yeah, inexorably. Wow. The carnage that is inexorably approaching. And that's a hard one to say. Try to say that. The carnage that is inexorably approaching. While at the center stage, directly in the camera's eye, are the 4 victims. And here, too, the seeming predictive power of the images is unnerving. Wait, while at the center stage, directly in the camera's eye, are the 4 victims. And here, too, the seeming predictive power of the images is unnerving. What are they talking about? The predictive power of what images, though? Of this image? I don't get what they're saying right here of what picture they're talking about. Wait, for each end of the row, as if it bookends to the main drama, are the 2 young women who will be the sole survivors of the carnage. Oh, that is inexorably approaching. Okay. Okay, so they're talking about this picture, how the 4 in the middle and then the 2 ends are the 2 survivors. How it's like that's some kinda, like, predictive power? I mean, I I guess, okay. Just because they're on the ends, and then they're in the middle, so then that means that I don't know. Don't see the I mean, if I were to look at that picture, that wouldn't be my thought at all, would it? Anyway, Maddie is balanced on Kaylee's shoulders, blonde on blonde, united and dependent on each other. They will die together in the same bed. I guess that is kind of weird. They are, I mean, I guess if you look at it like that, or they're in the same bed and they're okay. Standing next to them, a head taller, is a tousle haired Ethan, his left arm crooked possessively and protectively around Xana. Both of their dark outfits, outliers to the faded denims all the others are wearing. And they too will be dead within hours. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you look at it like that, but it wouldn't be your first thought, huh? All right. Anyway, at the time, the photograph was a celebration, and Kaylee posted it to Instagram for all the world to see. It was nothing unusual, a benign and even arguably banal gesture, or was it? We are living through one of the first major crime stories of the social media age. Hey, Alafade. All right, Instagram is by its very nature public. It's a shout out to the world. Only one of the vehement warnings to be gleaned from the Idaho murders might very well be that it would be prudent to remember that the open society has its enemies. A joyful instance of self-affirmation can reverberate in some forlorn minds as a taunt. Self-affirmation, a joyful sorry, I'm trying to follow what they're saying. Some of it's like to be gleaned from the Idaho murders might very well be that it would be prudent to remember that the open society has its enemies. Self-affirmation can reverberate in some forlorn minds as a taunt. An impossible dream that in a stranger's isolation and his entropy will forever be beyond his grasp. In envious hearts, a raging, roiling anger can take hold and take command. Each new proud image on Instagram or TikTok becomes another depiction of forbidden fruit. And if it has been decreed that this bounty will always be dangling maddeningly out of reach, a deranged mind may decide to axe down the tree. Huh. You guys following it? What do you guys think so far? Okay. Is this what happened? Was in fact a killer in the making tracking his victims on social media? Did each new shared image cut another notch deep into his mounting rage? It's a premise, unproven, conjectural, yet one that cries out for investigation. 4 deaths is a high price for society, and an impossible one for the grieving families to pay. For if indeed social media played a motivating part, oh, I forgot, let me put it like that. There we go. In a killer's furious, vindictive journey, a warning label of sorts need to be posted on the portals to these sites. Take heed, all who enter here. A universe of nascent suspicions. Still, there's no denying social media's efficacy too. As the weeks passed without an arrest, law enforcement authorities, in their state of frustration and desperation, called out for help. Detectives are looking for context to the events and people involved in these murders. Read the beseeching announcement posted online by the Moscow, Idaho Police Department. Whether you believe it is significant or not, it read, you might possess the piece of the puzzle that helps investigators solve these murders. And so the puzzle pieces started pouring in. Nearly 20,000 clues, a feverish collection of calls and emails and videos were received by the Idaho cops. And at least one of these tips helped change everything. For a graveyard shift attendant, at a gas station near the King Road murder house took the police's appeal to heart. And after a couple of long nights of carefully focused hunting, she discovered a surveillance video that helped clarify and confirmed the authorities' mounting interest in a white Hyundai Elantra that had been spotted in the off campus neighborhood in the early morning hours. It was a piece of tangible evidence that became one more footprint on the trail that would soon lead to Bryan Kohberger. So yeah, it says the attending who spotted the Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra on a surveillance video led to a big break in the case. It was a concerned citizen's triumph, yet it was also something more. It offers an insight into the roots of the nearly universal fascination with this case. Consider, as the investigations dragged on, seemingly without a clue, the seeds were planted, encouraged even, by the authorities for outsiders to play a role. And thousands of would-be detectives had a field day. After all, more than at any other time in history, it was easy to be a sleuth. One didn't, in fact, need to go any further than his or her electronic device of choice. A few clicks on your phone or laptop, and a vast world of potential clues would be revealed. A universe of nascent suspicions that conceivably would have overwhelmed even the most diligent speculations of a Sherlock Holmes. A Los Angeles Times reporter once asked Anthony Zucker, the creator of the CSI franchise and one of its executive producers, to explain the show's colossal success. On the worst day of your life, Zucker responded, the CSI investigators would come in, solve the crime, and bring peace of mind to the survivors and or the victim and put the bad guy away. Now internet sleuths could revitalize their own lives, not by stepping into a make-believe world, but by solving a very real, very horrific crime. Social media gave them a potential, or so they wanted to believe, to find the incriminating nail that they could pound into the bad guy's coffin. At last they could, as one poet urged, unite avocation and vocation. Yet it was a communal exercise that led to Jacobin excesses too. If in open society anyone could play detective and post solutions on the internet, this lack of rules and boundaries also meant that anyone could be publicly vilified. Overzealous amateurs posted mystifying nonsense that demanded ex-boyfriends of the victims, exploited casual encounters, and nosily dished up toxic and audacious facts. Worse, and this is the inescapable danger in the open marketplace that is social media, malicious harangues were readily accepted as gospel by a chorus of admiring fools. This, too, is part of the sad history that has enveloped the Idaho murder saga. A stern decree. Hey, Jory. Hey, Eve. Hey, Connie. Okay, so only now the court, in its lofty wisdom, has decided to intervene. Having had her fill of the extraordinary attention the entire affair has generated, Latah County Judge Megan Marshall, the Flinney, Idaho magistrate assigned to the case, has ruled that as far as the public is concerned, less is more than enough. On January 3rd, in the aftermath of Bryan Kohberger's arrest on 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary, she issued a gag order restricting comments from prosecutors, the defense, law enforcement, and other officials. Then, still not satisfied that she successfully dampened down the conversation sufficiently to ensure a fair trial, 2 weeks later, she made her stern decree even sterner. She expanded the scope of her already broad order so that now the survivors and their attorneys, as well as the victims' families and their attorneys, were also restricted from talking to the media. The press didn't take this lying down. 22 news organizations, from the Associated Press and the New York Times to the local Idaho Statesman, which has tenaciously and provocatively unearthed scoops and story after story on the case, banded together to ask for a repeal. This order is unnecessarily sweeping and broad and severely impedes the public's understanding of a significant criminal investigation that profoundly impacted the community. Reprimanded Josh Hoffner, National News Director for the Associated Press. So this is Magistrate Judge Megan Marshall has issued the gag orders. Okay. Where are we at? And the news organization's complaints were echoed by an unlikely supporter. Shannon Gray, the hard-charging local Moscow attorney representing the Gonzalez family, I know how to be a hurricane, he'd proudly boasted to me over coffee, has filed an appeal. The victim's surviving family members, he contended, are free to speak to the public and the media under the First Amendment to the Constitution. Simply put, their rights to the freedom of speech cannot be restricted through a judicial prior restraint. The court will in due course decide. But in the meantime, these high-minded constitutional arguments skirt a more pragmatic one. Any attempt to get a truth, to rephrase the Washington Post's earnest admonition, dies in darkness. If no one who is a legitimate authority on the case can speak out, it will neither put an end to the public's intense interest in the events, nor terminate the discussion. Instead, the arena will shift from the rigorous precincts of the journalism to the Wild West of the internet. Once again, the demons skulking on social media will be unleashed, and truth will be the first and second casualty. A vacuum demands to be filled, and a more Solomonic judge would have realized that it's not the accredited news organizations who would wantonly cut the baby in half in order to post a story. We judge that it's not the accredited news organization. Cut the baby in half in order to post a story. Huh. All right. Gag order or not, though, my mind will not rest. I keep returning to thoughts about the 4 murders in Idaho. It is a preoccupation that, time after pensive time, reinforces my nascent theories about the unique and extensive connections social media has to so many facets of this case. It was a catalyst, I believe, that helped to bring the crime to vivid life in a killer's unsatisfied mind. And now that a gag order has submerged an understanding of events beneath fathoms of speculation, the worst actors on the internet will dive in where a misguided judge has made sure no careful reporter will go. Caution and restraint are rare qualities in this too often malevolent environment. Yet faced with all these repertorial obstacles, I search on nevertheless for cornerstones of unimpeachable evidence. And so I find myself returning to the photo Kaylee posted of her friends on the last full day of her too brief life. In one way, the image provides a sort of solace, like the figures that a young John Keats viewed, or is it imagined? Scholars are of 2 minds. On a Grecian urn, and despite the sad fate that is poised to descend on them, the beauty of the 4 friends now cannot fade. Forever they too will love and be fair. They will love and be fair. And they too will stay forever young. And their killer will be a prisoner locked in his own internal hell, his desire spent without content, doomed to be, as Keats imagined, forever panting. All righty, what do you guys think? Huh? I don't know. That one wasn't quite as good as the first 2, I feel like. Because the first 2, the reason I kept going back to these articles and I paid for the subscription is because it did have little pieces of stuff that were new, like just little details, not like this groundbreaking stuff. But the first 2 had like little details of little specifics of, behind the scenes of what happened that we hadn't heard yet. This one really doesn't have much like that. So just got a bunch of big words. But the one that came out yesterday is this one. It's called Idaho, Instagram, and Incels. Let me take a break for 1 second, just like 1 minute. I'll chat with you guys for a minute, see who's here. Man, this coffee's so good. Hey, Cherry. I've been drinking way too much coffee because it's so freaking good. It tastes so good. Have you guys figured out anything more about that Madeline lady? So somebody sent me a picture where you could see a part of her ear, but it's almost still not, I still don't have a good enough picture of the ears. But I think with Madeline, I could get the ears because there's some videos of her that you could see. His hair always sticks. I get my hair is all so staticky. Like if I like when I brush it, like let's say the next day. So if I, if I washed it the day before, and I just brush it the next day or whatever, it's just like like the static. Did yours guys do that? Anyway, I know. Yeah, I know. But I feel like the first couple did have some interesting details, and then that first article, people were like, "Well, how do we know like that they're right on that?" But then it came out where some of the big like news sources were saying some of the details after, like they were saying some of those details that they had in that first thing. So I think it is trustworthy. Like their sources are legit where they get these little details, but I feel like they're trying too hard. Yeah, me too. I do too. I'm still open to the fact where I think he could have had help, but I think he's one of them. Like I feel like he's probably the main person. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there could be two people. Maybe there is somebody else, but I feel like Bryan is one of them, in my opinion. I hope they have some stuff though. He's still thinking he's going to be exonerated. I saw. Oh, bye, Connie. Oh no, it's okay. I mean, they're a good writer, but it's more like I feel like a school like a school paper where you're trying to impress with big words and stuff. But no, it's good. I mean, it's well written. I just feel like it's over. I don't think he needs to. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just me. I mean, I partly could be me. I've had a comment where like I don't think they use big words at all. Somebody said so. I mean, they're just like words that aren't common. You don't hear a lot. Where some people aren't going to know what they mean. All right, so let's go to the next one. Yeah, the writer. I mean, what are you asking? The writer's the one that wrote it. Is that what you're asking? Hey, water loving dog. I love that picture of your dog. What's his hair? He's got a little mohawk. Like his hair. That is the cutest thing. Is that your dog? God, it's cute. No, you're fine. You guys could write whatever. I mean, as long as no, I'm sure it's all right. I haven't seen anything like horrible. All right, let's read this other one real quick, and then, like I said, so maybe I might end up doing the Murdoch one later too. All right, so this one, yeah, Idaho Instagram and Incels. The alleged Moscow student murderer's behavior is straight out of the Incel playbook. So look, this is supposed to take 9 minutes. This one is shorter than the other one, though. Okay. And it's a different writer. Wait, it's a different author. Hold on, I think, because I think the other one was a guy author. Yeah. So he's Howard Bloom, and this one is a different author. So let's see if it's written a lot different. Okay. On Instagram, Madison Mogan showed us a certain kind of perfect life. Whether your dog barking, whatever struggles she may have endured before falling victim to a killer one night in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, on Instagram, she is always smiling. Her account is like a prototype for what social media culture demands of young women and girls, that they look happy, sexy, occasionally pensive, and above all, inviolable. Mogan 21 shows us the life of a pretty blonde American college girl, a popular sorority girl. She was a member of Pi Beta Phi. She poses in formals and bikinis in the cutest outfits. As she just, well, you could tell this is a girl, right? Now I don't see a guy. The guy would say the cutest outfits. As she describes them, often popping up her foot or bent. Well, I guess she's saying as Kaylee describes them, huh? Anyway, as she describes them, often popping her foot or bending down, playfully touching her knees. She strides gaily into a building at the University of Idaho. In a post, she captioned, "Heaven is a place on earth." She visits Cabo and Jamaica with friends, many of them blonde young women who resemble her. "Lucky me, I have the best friends ever." Mogan captioned a picture of herself going jet skiing with her two other blondes. with two other blondes. Beautiful, cute, stunning, gorge. Her friends commented on her post, fulfilling their duty per social media conventions to comment enthusiastically and with many emojis. It's chilling now to think that Bryan Kohberger could have been watching all this, seeing Mogan with her sweet smile and twinkling eyes, living her seemingly perfect life. You wonder if it made him angry, jealous. Was Instagram for him like a gallery of women to date or perhaps target for violence? Wonder what this video is. Oh, okay. Kohberger, 28, formerly a graduate student at Washington State University, has been accused of killing Mogan and her roommates, Kaylee, Xana, as well as Xana's boyfriend, Ethan, entering the girls' house around 4 a.m. and stabbing them to death in their beds. A story that Airmail contributor Howard Bloom detailed in this publication. In January, people reported that Kohberger had followed the three female victims on Instagram, and about 2 weeks before the murders, messaged one of them repeatedly. He was definitely persistent, said an investigative source on the case. He slid into one of the girls' DMs several times, but she didn't respond. Basically, it was just him saying, "Hey, how are you?" But he did it again and again. It's chilling now to think that Bryan Kohberger could have been seeing Madison Mogan with her sweet smile and twinkling eyes, living her seemingly perfect life. Having a random guy slide into their DMs, direct messages, wouldn't cause most women alarm. However creepy, it's now viewed as a regular feature of modern dating, with magazines and YouTube videos advising men on what types of messages to send in order to get a response. Most women will simply ignore the guy, which is what Mogan reportedly did. You wonder if being ignored made Kohberger irate. Was Instagram for the murderer like a gallery of women to date, or perhaps target for violence? The police haven't told us the motive in this case, but it seems like everybody has a theory. Women I've spoken to have said since wait, women I've spoken to have said since the story broke that they believe the Idaho student murders were committed by someone who hates women, which unfortunately wouldn't be surprising. Femicide is an under-discussed problem in the United States, where nearly 3 women are murdered every day, most often by a current or former intimate partners. In the Idaho case, it was the look of the victims that first raised suspicion that this was a hate crime. Okay. I just want to see who. Okay. All right. There was the fact there was the fact that this happened in a house full of attractive girls. Chapin was just visiting. And the nature of the killings, by knife, as the victims lay in bed, seemed like a horrifying substitute for rape. A former FBI agent, Jennifer Coffindaffer, told Newsweek days before Kohberger was arrested that she believed the murderer was an individual with absolutely horrible, murderous desires against these women and a perverted thoughts and anger toward women in general. They're known as incels. Down the incel rabbit hole. Since Kohberger's arrest, there has been mounting speculation about whether he qualifies as an incel. Incels, short for involuntary celibates, are heterosexual men who blame women for their lack of romantic success. On hundreds of online forums, websites, and blogs in the so called manosphere, they promote women hating and anti feminism. They also tend to subscribe to white supremacy, and their rhetoric is often violent. Over the last decade, incels have been tied to dozens of assaults and murders, as well as a couple of mass murders, including the 2018 attack by Alec Minasan. I don't know how to say his name, Minasan. Then 25, who plowed a van into a group of pedestrians in Toronto, killing 11 people and injuring 15, predominantly women. The incel rebellion has already begun. Minasan wrote in a Facebook post prior to his attack, "We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys." In the lexicon of incels, Stacys are beautiful, typically blonde girls who deny incels sex. Incels believe it is their right to have sex with Stacys, forget about what Stacys want, and hate them because they can't have them. They see Stacys as stupid and shallow because they prefer men whom incels refer to as Chads, square-jawed jocks who enjoy great success with women due to only, incels say, to their handsomeness. You can see how an incel might have regarded the house where the Idaho victims lived as a veritable nest of Stacy's. The surviving roommates were also pretty blondes. This was the house Kohberger drove past at least 12 times, as if doing surveillance, which police say they know from his cell phone records. What was he looking for when he repeatedly rolled past? Was he already planning an attack? Or was he looking for a glimpse into what he saw as a golden world full of beautiful blondes and their popular clique? Kohberger's apparent obsession with girls deemed out of his league. All right, sorry. Kohberger's apparent obsession with girls deemed out of his league goes back to an early rejection. In middle school in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania, his heart was reportedly broken by Kim Kennelly, a future high school cheerleader. By all accounts, an overweight, awkward boy, Kohberger, would become relentless in his pursuit, repeatedly leaving love letters in Kennelly's locker and telling her he liked her, reported the Daily Mail. She'd say, "Oh my God, leave me alone," Kennelly's mother, Sandra, told the paper. So yeah, this just repeats some of the stuff in the thing, but it's Kohberger's apparent obsession with girls deemed out of his league goes back to an early rejection. Okay. In interviews, former classmates say that Kohberger was bullied by the popular girls in school. They literally tortured him, said an unnamed source. In his senior year of high school, he lost about 100 pounds and apparently in an attempt to fit in, turning himself into a frightening looking version of Daniel Day-Lewis in The Age of Innocence. But his extreme physical transformation couldn't change Kohberger's personality, which reportedly still fell off and now was becoming aggressive and mean-spirited, according to former classmates. In high school, Kohberger reportedly started taking heroin to dull the pain of his existence. He later went to rehab and got sober. "I feel like an organic sack of meat with no self-worth," he wrote on an online forum when he was 16 in 2011. He developed a rare condition, visual snow, spots before the eyes, which he said coincided with an increasing absence of emotion. And yet, through his trials and tribulations, Kohberger was apparently still harassing his female classmates. If he liked or was interested in a girl and she wasn't, he didn't understand why or just didn't accept her saying no and move on. Dominic Clark, who attended elementary and high school with Kohberger, told the New York Post. Later, Kohberger reported misogyny extended to locker room talk. There is a comment that he made, and it was kind of a flippant guy talk saying. Benjamin Roberts, a fellow grad student at Washington State University, told CBS News. At one point, he just idly mentioned, I can go down to a bar or club and pretty much have any lady I want. From everything we know about Kohberger, this sounds doubtful. The bravado of a man who would like to be a player but drives a white Hyundai Elantra. At Washington State, where he was pursuing a PhD in criminology, Kohberger reportedly turned off his female classmates by mansplaining to them. His peers said he rankled some people with a habit of over-explaining and sounded particularly condescending when he spoke to his female classmates, the New York Times reported. So here's Maddie. That's her boyfriend, looks like, right? I don't know who the other guys are. Okay. In the manosphere, incels like to talk about how they suffer from women's disregard, never taking responsibility for how their own misogynistic, I cannot talk, guys, misogynistic attitudes and behavior might be what's pushing women away. Another window into Kohberger's apparent failure to connect with women is in the story of Haley Willett, 26, who in January posted a TikTok about her Tinder date with Kohberger 7 years ago when she was an undergrad at Penn State Hazleton, and he was probably living with his parents in nearby Albrightsville. Willett said Kohberger kept trying to touch her, making her uncomfortable, until she finally got him to leave, after which he messaged her saying she had good birthing hips, a small detail which suggests that Kohberger may have spent time in the manosphere. Incels believe the women exist purely for their reproductive and sexual capabilities, according to Southern Poverty Law Center. 11 days before the Idaho murders, according to the New York Times, Kohberger had a meeting with faculty members at Washington State University, which had been investigating his professionalism and his conduct around women and his role as a teaching assistant. Some female students reported that Mr. Kohberger had made them feel uncomfortable, including by allegedly following a female student to her car. He was fired in December. So wait, they're saying 11. Well, let me read it. 11 days before the murders that they had the meeting, but then he was fired in December. So they probably discussed it and decided. So he was fired. So what this is saying is basically would have been fired after the murders, but the meeting was before. All right. Incels like to be known for when they kill people. Incels like to be known for when they kill people or when they have a conquest, like this Dr. Carol Lieberman, a forensic psychiatrist, said on court TV. On the night of the murders, the killer left his knife sheath on the bed where Mogan and Gonçalves had been sleeping. That knife sheath bears Kohberger's DNA, according to police. But if Kohberger was indeed the killer, you wonder how a grad student of criminology managed to forget this vital piece of evidence. Did he leave it there accidentally? Or was it a way of marking his kill? If the killings were sexually motivated, then the sheath was akin to a discarded condom, proof that its owner was the one who had been there, violating those popular, good-looking young people. Before Kohberger was arrested, a Facebook group devoted to discussing the murders was visited by a user who called himself Papa Roger. Some group members later noticed that the person with this username had guessed rather too accurately about the knife sheath being left at the scene. Of the evidence released, Papa Roger commented weeks before police released this detail. The murder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. Some believe Papa Roger was Kohberger himself, which would make his username a nod to his identification with incels, as well as a kind of brag. Elliot Rodgers was the name of the misogynistic terrorist, which this was interesting right here, because I didn't know where Papa Roger came from. I want to look up what Elliot Rodgers looks like too. Because remember that picture that Papa Roger had. So Elliot Rodgers was actually an incel that, well, here, he was a terrorist who killed 6 people, injured 14 others in California, Isla Vista, California, in 2014 when he was 22 before turning a gun on himself. Roger is a hero to the incel movement, which the U.S. Secret Service's National Threat Assessment Center has identified as a growing domestic terror threat. So now, do you think, or what I was going to say, do you think? I heard he hasn't responded after Bryan got arrested. Papa Roger has been silent, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember I feel like I read it somewhere that he disappeared, which would go along with it being Bryan. And if it is Bryan, it would go along with that he is somehow connected to the incels or feels like an incel or whatever for him to use that name. You know what I'm saying? And this guy was a big like hero to the incel movement. So that would kind of go along with him being one. Because I know some people doubt that, but I mean, if that is indeed him, it looks like maybe he did admire it, if not consider himself one and act like one. Okay, so where are we at? Through his murder spree and his online manifesto, in which he blames his loneliness and isolation on women for refusing to have sex with him, Roger became the incel king. All hail the supreme gentleman Elliot Rodgers. Alec Minison wrote on Facebook before his 2018 Toronto attack. Incels cheered. Do you know if Papa Roger, yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that. I have, do I have that still up? I never did do that for a live where I was going to go over all Papa Rogers. I know a lot of channels have already done it, but I haven't done it yet. went over some of the stuff you said. I went over some of it, but like I had a more complete list of like all the stuff. Maybe we could do that sometime. It's kind of interesting to think it could be him, you know? We are haunted by the last photo Gonzalez posted on Instagram just hours before she and her roommates died. There is Mogan smiling, sitting on the shoulders of Gonzalez. They were like sisters, inseparable since 6th grade. There are Coronado and Chapin embracing. Whoever killed them killed 4 people with loving connections, the types of connections Kohberger never found in life and coveted in others. The senselessness of it is infuriating. Is that why we've become so obsessed with this story? And yet many other murders occur that are as shocking and deserving of our attention. So why the Idaho victims? Could it be that they were as obsessed with Stacy as incels are? Wait, could it be that we're as obsessed with Stacy's as incels are? Dead white girl, holy grail of podcasts. Remarks BJ Novak as the cynical podcaster in the movie Vengeance. Wait. What? Dead white girl, holy grail of podcasts. Remarks BJ Novak as the cynical podcaster in the movie Vengeance. I don't know the reference there, but yeah, so let's look up this guy, Elliot Rodgers, real quick. So that's that article. What did you guys think? All right, let me look up Elliot Rodgers. See what he looks like. Because I feel like that Papa Roger kind of looks like Bryan's profile, but like a old version of Bryan, like Bryan aged. I mean, his profile looks very like an aged Bryan, but let's see what Elliot Rodgers looks like, because I don't know. I never even heard of him until I read this. Oh, he doesn't look anything like that picture, but here's Elliot Rodgers. It's got a, yeah. Let's see. Actually, let me put it over here so I could share my audio, and we'll watch this whatever this video is. Hold on. It's not going to share the audio, but I just want to see what and then I'll play it. Hold on. So let me see if it's going to be. Yeah. Hold on. We're going to play audio over here. Retribution video. Huh, interesting. All right, hold on. Let's check her out. All right, let me share this. Okay, I got it over here. Okay. Wonder if it won't let me make. There we go.
Hi, Elliot Rodgers here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires, all because girls have never been attracted to me. Girls gave their affection and sex and love to other men, but never to me. I'm 22 years old and I'm still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. I've been through college for 2.5 years, more than that actually, and I'm still a virgin. It has been very torturous. College is the time when everyone experiences those things such as sex and fun and pleasure. But in those years, I've had to rot in loneliness. It's not fair. You girls have never been attracted to me. I don't know why you girls aren't attracted to me, but I will punish you all for it. It's an injustice, a crime, because I don't know what you don't see in me. I'm the perfect guy. And yet you throw yourselves at all these obnoxious men instead of me, the supreme gentleman. I will punish all of you for it. On the day of retribution, I am going to enter the hottest sorority house of UCSB. And I will slaughter every single spoiled, stuck-up, blonde slut I see inside there. All those girls that I've desired so much, they would have all rejected me and looked down upon me as an inferior man if I ever made a sexual advance towards them, while they throw themselves at these obnoxious brutes. I'll take great pleasure in slaughtering all of you. You will finally see that I am, in truth, the superior one, the true alpha male. Yes. After I've annihilated every single girl in the sorority house, I'll take to the streets of Isla Vista and slay every single person I see there. All those popular kids who live such lives of hedonistic pleasure while I've had to rot in loneliness for all these years. They've all looked down upon me every time I tried to go out and join them. They've all treated me like a mouse. Well, now I will be a god compared to you. You will all be animals. You are animals, and I will slaughter you like animals. I'll be a god, exacting my retribution on all those who deserve it. And you do deserve it, just for the crime of living a better life than me. All you popular kids, you've never accepted me. And now you'll all pay for it. And girls, all I've ever wanted was to love you and to be loved by you. I've wanted a girlfriend. I've wanted sex. I've wanted love, affection, adoration. But you think I'm unworthy of it. That's a crime that can never be forgiven. If I can't have you, girls, I will destroy you. You denied me a happy life, and in turn, I will deny all of you life. It's only fair. I hate all of you. Humanity is a disgusting, wretched, depraved species. If I had it in my power, I would stop at nothing to reduce every single one of you to mountains of skulls and rivers of blood. And rightfully so. You deserve to be annihilated. And I will give that to you. You never showed me any mercy, and so I will show you none. You forced me to suffer all my life, and now I'll make you all suffer. I've waited a long time for this. I'll give you exactly what you deserve, all of you, all you girls who rejected me and looked down upon me and, treated me like scum while you gave yourselves to other men. And all of you men for living a better life than me, all of you sexually active men, I hate you. I hate all of you. I can't wait to give you exactly what you deserve. Utter annihilation. I am.
God, I'm on mute. I'm sorry. I just read that whole thing, but oh my God, thank you. Oh lordy, I'm silly. Okay. Well, anyway, it's basically saying he came from a freaking privileged family. His dad is a Hollywood filmmaker. Well, it says son of a Hollywood filmmaker, so I guess it could be his dad or his mom. He grew up in a life of privilege. Um, and there's this, I'm going to find his 141-page document. It says it explores his upbringing, his mental health, his deep rooted loathing of women, fueled by an intense frustration over his virginity. And what I was saying is he's not a bad looking guy. Like he should have just been patient, girl. He would have gotten the girl. Well, I don't know. If he has this attitude and he's a jerk and he has the potential to kill people, then no, maybe you're psycho. You know what I'm saying? But like he could have though. Like, well, people make me so mad. Oh, thanks, Karma. Wait, is this the Karma? Karma or is this a different Karma? I've been thinking about Karma, the Karma that's used to come for the Kylie case. It's like, where has he been at? I don't know if is that you, but it's changed to 360. I'm not sure if this is the same Karma. Yeah, like he would have gotten girls. He wasn't he was a cute kid. Like, wow, God, it's just a messed up way of thinking, you know? But yeah, so it's basically saying he killed his roommates, 3 men, okay? Like, why are you gonna kill I mean, if you have a problem against women, you're gonna kill your 3 roommates, it's all men. So he only ended up killing 2 of the sorority girls, but they weren't even from the sorority that he wanted to. They were just outside the sorority, instead of members of another sorority. And then he traveled around and injured 14 people just firing at random cars. And then he killed a another guy, Christopher. So he killed more guys than girls. And he declared, "I am the true victim in all this. I am the good guy." Right. Um, and he has a lot of fans, basically. Look, merch. He's got merch. Supreme Gentleman. But here, wait, what's a manosphere? The incel community is just one of the I hate saying that word right now. Let's see, called Manosphere, a web of online blogs and forums which reject mainstream conceptions of gender inequality. Okay. So it's an online blog, web of online blogs and forums which reject mainstream conceptions of gender inequality. So look, they have others include Men Going Their Own Way, MGTOW, a group which focuses on male self-ownership and believes men have been disadvantaged by modern society's development. Okay, so the forum's name is a reference to the 1999 film The Matrix. Huh. All right, here's another article. This kind of explains more. It says, hold on. Details how Elliot Rodgers executed murderous rampage. So it says, after stabbing his 2 housemates and another man to death, Elliot Rodgers began the second part of his murderous rampage with a triple vanilla latte from Starbucks. So freaking stabs 2 roommates and another guy, goes to freaking Starbucks, get a triple vanilla latte. Then, from behind the wheel of his black BMW coupe, he uploaded his final video to YouTube titled Retribution. So, wow. So, when he was that video, he had just got done stabbing all those 3 guys. I didn't realize that. The video we just watched, that would have been right after he stabbed them. This is right. Wow. So, the report revealed the heartbreaking detail, the execution of Rodgers' plan, months in the making, the exact revenge on a world he believed had deeply wronged him. All right, so let's see. Less than 2 hours after purchasing his latte, at around 9:15, Roger arrived at the Alpha Phi sorority house. Rachel Glikes, who lived there, heard him pounding on the door for several minutes. No one answered, but after the pounding stopped, Glikes heard 6 to 7 gunshots, a female scream, followed by 3 additional gunshots. Vanessa Brist, another resident, heard the gunshots as she was getting dressed. According to the report, but thought at first they were firecrackers. Linda Gordon, the sorority's house mother, gathered some of other residents in a room to take shelter. Roger had to return to his car. Through its open window, he shot Veronica Weiss, Catherine Cooper, and Bianca Deacock as they walked past the western wall of the sorority house. So they walked past. Okay. Then making that one witness described as an aggressive turn from Then making what one witness described as an aggressive turn from Embarcadero del Norte onto Segovia, Roger drove away. Deacock survived. Cooper and Weiss did not. The first 911 call came in the Santa Barbara County Dispatch Center at 9:27 from a man named Spencer. The sheriff's office broadcast a gunshots heard call less than 30 seconds later. Deputies, several of whom had heard gunshots before running towards the house, converged on the scene. Roger was still driving. He made a 3-point turn in a driveway on Pardell Road. As he passed a coffee shop on Pardell, he fired one round into it. It was closed at the time. A group of friends was standing on the corner outside the IV Deli Mart when they heard a loud noise, which the report says was likely Roger's gunshot into the coffee shop. One of them suggested they go inside the deli, so they filed inside. Christopher Michaels Martinez turned to look at the Rogers car from the doorway of the store. He was struck in the chest as Roger fired numerous shots into the store. Michael, so which store? So this was the, Roger's gunshot at the coffee shop was, in the deli, okay. He fell to the floor inside the deli mart where he died. Roger continued to drive, shooting from the car window. Near the junction of Del Norte, Major Road, blah, 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 swerved to hit a man, Jin Fu, who was crossing the road. The car struck Fu with such force, according to the report, that his body flipped as he was thrown into the air. Miraculously, Fu's only injury was a small bruise on his left calf. Roger continued to shoot at people, hitting and wounding several of them, as well as knocking several people over with his car. At 9:35, Roger crashed heavily into a parked car. Officers rushed to it. In the driver's seat, they found Roger, his black Sig Sauer pistol loaded and cocked next to his hip. He was dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The whole attack had taken around 8 minutes, according to the report, which estimates that the 55 9mm rounds were fired. By the end, 14 people had been wounded, either by gunshot or by being struck by Roger's car, and 6 were dead, not including Roger. More than 500 more live rounds of ammunition, another pistol, and 2 knives were discovered inside the car. One of the people who was shot, Bailey Maples, recalled that Roger had a creepy laugh. A laugh would become unpleasantly familiar to investigators and the press in the following days as his online world began to be revealed. So his online life at the time of the attack found, like the sheriff's report, evidence of hatred and premeditation. He made a number of threatening YouTube videos and was a member of the insidious online community on a message board called puahake.com. His manifesto was Twisted World. He emailed to people, told investigators the document freaked him out. His father, Peter Roger, a film executive, told investigators the document freaked him out. Oh, because he emailed it to his father. He emailed that, and it says to several people, including his father, his manifesto, and it freaked his father out. In Roger's apartment, along with several more knives, including a 10-inch zombie killer, a fixed blade, and an 18-inch machete, and a printout of his manifesto, was a diary. The final handwritten entry reads, "This is it. In 1 hour, I will have my revenge on this cruel world. I hate you all. Die." In his introduction to his report, Sheriff Bill Brown said, "Sadly, terrible crimes like this occur far too frequently." Yeah, so it says basically many suspects in mass murder incidents suffer from severe mental illness that is untreated or undertreated. Yet in this instance, the suspect was receiving treatment and had been since childhood. All right, let's see what this one is. This is The Secret Life of Elliot. I wonder if talking about telling his parents that how he died. And Peter, his dad, says, Elliot was far from evil. Something happened to him. I think that his mind was taken over by his disease. So he's just saying how they were told that he was dead, his parents. His mother, so it says, earlier that evening, Peter had been enjoying dinner with friends at his home 100 miles south in Los Angeles. He had received an email from his son. Elliot's mother received the same email, which contained a menacing 137-page diary addressed to his parents, life coach, and others entitled, My Twisted World. Lachin had Googled her son's name and found something even more chilling, a YouTube video called Elliot Rodgers Retribution. So she watched that. And it says that his father relives his moments of his son's life, from happy days when Elliot was laughing little boy to his increasingly dark world. He recalls with a twinge of regret that what could have been a moment when Elliot's alarmed mother called police on her son, but they left after Elliot convinced them that his online rantings were harmless. Oh, so he recalls with a twinge of regret the what could have been moment when Elliot's alarmed mother called police on her son, but they left after Elliot convinced them that his online rantings were harmless. At that point, Elliot had already purchased 3 guns and had been practicing at a firing range in preparation for his retribution. But Peter does not blame the police, but would like to see how the law changed so that gun checks are required on these types of calls. If they did a gun check, they would know that Elliot had bought 3 automatic weapons. They would have the right to seize him for 24 hours, and his whole scheme would have been over and thwarted. He said in an exclusive interview with ABC's Barbara Walters. On the awful night of May 23rd, Peter, Roger, his wife, and Elliot's mother all rushed to the cars, starting a frantic 100-mile sprint to Elliot's apartment, worried that for their son's safety and his life. I didn't know what he was doing, his father said. I just wanted to go and find him and talk to him, do something, and hold him, talk reason. So after they closing in on Isla Vista in their cars, nearing Elliot's apartment, they began reading on their phones about an incident involving a black BMW and reports of an active shooter on the loose at UC Santa Barbara. The dad kept hitting redial on his phone, trying to get through. We're driving up there, not knowing what to do, he said. Both parents were on their phones with the sheriff. As they got close to Elliot's neighborhood, they were directed to a nearby Home Depot parking to wait. All right, let's see. His father said he never believed his son would do something like that. He was far from evil. He was the most beautiful, kind, sweetheart of a boy, and something happened to him. He was adorable, and he would laugh so much that sometimes we were worried he would choke. This is a horror story when you have somebody who on the outside is one thing and on the inside is something completely different and you don't see it. Elliot Rodger was born in London to Peter and Lee Chin, a Malaysian-born nurse who had worked as a unit nurse on the set of Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Or Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Peter also worked on film, directing television commercials, and working on the hit film Hunger Games. Wow. At the age of 5, Peter, Chin, and Elliot and his little sister, Georgia, moved back to California. Those were the good years. It was really wondrous. Those first 4 or 5 years of his life, it was wondrous. He was really adorable, cute little boy, Roger said. Or Peter said. When Elliot was 7, Peter and Chin divorced. A year later, Peter remarried, this time to Sumaya Akabun, a Moroccan actress who had appeared in the Hollywood blockbuster Green Zone. It was also the year Elliot began his long journey with therapy. Elliot Rodgers' rage began long before Santa Barbara shooting. Elliot had problems, but they weren't things that I would consider overly worrisome, or that he would ever be a threat to himself or he would be a threat to other people, his father said. Like a lot of kids, he wanted to be a part of a cool crowd, but had trouble fitting in. His parents moved him from school to school, trying to find a place where Elliot could succeed. His father said he had very few friends in elementary school. He was quiet and shy. He also had a certain OCD about him, always putting his plate in the same place at the dinner table, always wearing the same clothes. There was a suggestion that Elliot might have Asperger's syndrome, though he was never formally diagnosed. Elliot said in his journal that his rage began to build even as a youngster, as the son of Hollywood insider with a front row seat to the entertainment industry's most powerful and glamorous. Let me put it like that. Okay. My little 9-year-old self realized that there were hierarchies, that some people were better than others, jealousy and envy. Those are 2 feelings that would dominate my entire life and bring me immense pain, Elliot wrote. But Elliot hid the pain well, his father claims. If he were sitting here right now, you would think, what a polite boy he was, Peter said. But yet he had this thing going on inside him. Peter said he never had an inkling that his son harbored a lethal rage inside him. There's no way I thought this boy could hurt a flea. He never, ever been violent or showed any violent tendencies, ever, he said. I think that his mind was taken over by a disease, his father concluded. The lonely boy had become an introverted teenager. By the age of 13, Elliot had walled himself into a fictional cyber world of Warcraft. His constant companions were the heroes and villains of the online fantasy game. In high school, Elliot was bullied, though his father said Elliot would never talk about it with him. There were incidents when food was thrown at him, incidents when he was pushed into lockers. I was an innocent, scared little boy trapped in a jungle full of malicious predators, and I was shown no mercy, he later wrote in his diary. He would leave 2 high schools before landing at the tiny 100-student Independence High. For all those things that Elliot had, the black BMW, the designer sunglasses, there was one thing that always eluded him, a girlfriend. And that became an obsession until the very end. I mean, look at me. I'm gorgeous, but you girls don't see it. I don't understand why you're so repulsed by me, Elliot stated in his Retribution video before his killing spree. Sex became an obsession and an agony for Elliot. Finding out about sex is one of the things that truly destroyed my entire life. Sex, the very word, fills me with hate, Elliot would write in his journal. I would always covet it. I would always fantasize about it, but I would never get it. Peter Rodgers said he tried to talk about this issue with his son, but chalked Elliot's nervousness about girls to a normal teenage jitters. Of course you're going to find a girlfriend, Peter would say. Of course you're going to fall in love. Of course you can have children. Elliot, there's no rush. I put it down to just straight youthful jealousy. I didn't think that he was harboring lust of terrible deeds in his head. I think that he had a plan of revenge. I didn't think he had a plan of revenge or all the stuff that came out. He told Barbara Waters, I don't understand you girls. You're attracted to the wrong kind of guy. You should be attracted to guys like me. Beautiful, magnificent guys. By the time Elliot reached his 18th birthday, the shy young boy had vanished, leaving behind only resentment and anger. Too terrified to approach young women, it was easier to hate them. The campus of the University of California at Santa Barbara sits right along the Pacific Ocean. The skies are blue and clear more days of the year here than not, and Elliot's parents thought the sunshine in college life would help their introverted son grow up. Elliot attended the nearby Santa Barbara College but had stopped attending classes this year. I thought by putting him out there and giving him independence and integrating him into a normal society would very quickly help develop the skills that I thought was lacking in him, his father said. But it was at college that Elliot would begin planning his day of retribution. It was only when I first moved to Santa Barbara that I had started considering the possibility of having to carry out a violent act of revenge as the final solution to dealing with all of the injustices I've had to face at the hands of women in society. His fury towards women drew him to the I can't say that right now. In online form, he wrote, envisioning a world where women fear you. Wow. When Elliot sent the websites to his father, Peter angrily called his son, Elliot, why are you going on these websites, he recalled. This is negative. This is evil. This is evil, kind of. And you shouldn't go on there. But the father's outrage failed to work. He failed to realize the depths of Elliot's hatred of women. Wow. How's everybody doing? I don't know. If you want me to read the rest, I want to find a couple more videos because it sounds like there's some videos of him. Misogynistic. Okay, see, I can say it now. Like it's. Why can't I say it when it's like when I'm trying to read? It seems like I have to think about it. Misogynistic. Anyway, all right, where are we at? The young man became obsessed with losing his virginity. Peter tried reasoning with his son on this too. There's no shame at all in losing your virginity at a later age. Some people never do. Some people go into church and choose chastity. Elliot's life had become a volatile mixture of desire and denial, and the tension had reached a boiling point at the party last summer. He wrote that he had decided to give women one last chance to help him lose his virginity before he turned 22. When the girls at the party ignored him, he grew angry, climbed onto a 10-foot ledge, and pretended to shoot partygoers with an imaginary gun. When Elliot tried pushing several women off the ledge, a group of men intervened and shoved him off instead, resulting in a broken ankle. Wow. Elliot told his father a different story. When Peter came to pick him up, Elliot claimed he was a victim, bullied, called a faggot, and beaten up. He told the police the same story, but they dropped the case after finding out Elliot might have been the aggressor. He was such a good liar, his dad said. He was such an incredible liar. Though Elliot had seen many therapists, he was never formally diagnosed with a mental illness. And with no official history of mental illness, he was able to legally purchase 3 handguns to use in his attack. 3, he said, in case 2 of them malfunctioned. He went to a firing range to practice. As I fired my first few rounds, I felt so sick to my stomach, Elliot would later write. There I was practicing shooting with real guns because I had a plan to carry out a massacre. Why did things have to be this way? Elliot had launched his plan for Retribution Day. This is my last video. It has all come to this. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. I mean, are you guys interested in this? Oh, Sleuthy, what's up? We gotta do a panel soon. Hey, Soul. Wait, did Karma ever answer? Karma, are you the Karma? And if you are the Karma, that's so weird because I've like the last week I've been like thinking about you, like wonder where he's at. I haven't seen him since a while. I was like, I hope he's okay, but I missed if you answered. Is it? I don't want to miss it again, but it's not the same one. Oh, okay. Well, where is Karma been? Where's the other Karma been? And welcome new Karma. Okay, so after not hearing from her son for a couple of days in April, Elliot's mother, Lee Chin, became nervous. Intuitively, Peter said she began sniffing around on the internet to see if there had been an accident. What she found was Elliot's YouTube account. Elliot had been uploading bizarre videos to YouTube. Although none contained a specific threat, knowing that Elliot would never consent to a mental assessment, Chin called her son's life coach, who called the Santa Barbara District Mental Health Hotline. The hotline alerted police and asked them to make a welfare check on Elliot, which prompted 6 officers to show up at Elliot's door. Elliot was a very, very, very polite, kind, well-spoken, well-dressed individual, his father said. And he managed to say, "You've got nothing to worry about." The police left without taking any action or running a gun check. As the police left, a wave of relief passed over Elliot. In just a few weeks, his day of retribution would arrive. On that day in May, that Memorial Day weekend, Elliot would kill 7 people, including himself, wounding 13 others. I don't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it, said Peter. It will haunt me for the rest of my life. Elliot's mother had declined to discuss her son's or the tragedy of last May. I feel the world's attention should be focused on the victims, loved ones, and remembering the beautiful lives that were so tragically lost, she said in a statement. All right, so here, let me. Weird. Oh, it was took me off the screen for some reason. That was so weird. All right, hold on. Let me just do this. Where did that go? Yeah, that's not right. Okay. Let me just go to a YouTube and see what I could find. I'm muted? I accidentally took myself off. That's what it is. Hold on. I'm trying to find some videos. Oh, here we go. Okay, I found some. Hold on. Hold on. Let's watch this. Whoa, that's a long though. Here, let me. We'll skip through it to the parts where because there's like a 40-minute documentary. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. I'm interested. Like, well, it's true crime. I mean, stuff like interests me. Like, why? Like, what is I like to learn about different things like this. All right. Unreleased video? Hold on 1 second, guys. Here, let me just share. I don't know. This isn't the one I was originally going to play, but
Elliot Rodgers was the perpetrator of an attack in the college town of Isla Vista in 2014 that killed 6 people and injured lack of success with women, and stating that he was more like an autobiography talking about his life and grievances against society. Elliot Rodgers is considered to be the spiritual founder of the Incel movement and has been a source of inspiration for other mass murderers as well. Because of this, his videos and manifesto have been widely shared and analyzed for the past 7 years, and shed a lot of light into his malignant narcissism and other personality flaws that likely contributed to his decision to carry out the attack.
So this is Zephyr.
There were some additional videos on under the freedom of interest, more personal, paid himself to the public. This video is a vlog where Elliot Rodgers talks about receiving the Game of Thrones book, A Dance with Dragons, from Amazon.
I just opened up this package from Amazon, and look what I found in it. George R.R. Martin, A Dance with Dragons. My mom just ordered me the book I've been waiting for so long. The 5th book of A Song of Ice and Fire. And here it is in my hands, hardcover, brand new. This is so awesome. Oh, what's this?
D's. Sorry. I'm always muting.
A book. I've been counting down the days. I've been in such great anticipation for this book. Oh, what happened here? A little tear in the paper. Oh, well. Oh, I'm actually holding A Dance with Dragons. This is so awesome. I'm going to read it now.
So one of the things you might have noticed here is the difference between how he talks in this video and how he talks in his Day of Retribution video, which is the last video he released before perpetrating his attack.
Tomorrow is the Day of Retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you.
Skip through some of this so we can.
There are actually quotes from Star Wars, as well as the video game World of Warcraft.
I'm going to skip through this. I just want to see some more videos of like his videos. What's this? I see one of his videos too.
See that while one of the Chihuahuas doesn't seem to care, the other one really doesn't like Elliot Rodgers. He starts growling when he gets near him. His ears are pinned back. His tail is between his legs. He's taking
If you guys want to watch the whole thing, it's this what it is. Zephyr the 7th.
Gotcha. I got you.
Does anybody know what his YouTube? Wonder what his YouTube? I bet you it's taken down now, huh? I'll look for it.
The taunting, the power he has over this little dog. The
I
laugh he
hope he
does,
never hurt
the sadistic laugh he does in his Day of Retribution video. We don't know whose dog this is.
And then his dad says that he has like the how I don't know if he says the nicest laugh or the greatest laugh, or remember he describes his laugh as being like good, and then this guy's showing it's creepy, and then that other person that was one of the victims that he shot at or whatever said his laugh was so creepy.
Elliot Rodgers, he was 10, but it's too blurry for me to make out. They're dogs. I thought I might get some clues from the stuff on the fridge, but it's too blurry for me to make out. There's a children's spelling award on the fridge, and the name on it looks like it might be Jazz, which was Elliot Rodgers' little brother, the child of his father and stepmother. The next video is of Elliot Rodger walking a different dog and meeting another dog.
Film this. Stupid dog.
Hey, ornaments. Hey, Brianna, Jory.
So we have Elliot Rodger
Has
doing
any of you guys seen
and mocking this dog.
Karma?
The dog looks like it's just being territorial because it sees another dog.
He's
Most
okay.
people
He's okay.
I'm walking, but Elliot decides to film himself taunting it.
I'm gonna skip around here.
Typical sociopath beings that other people doing to him. The next, tell it's been partially scripted and that he's trying to do the same character that he does in his Retribution video, but his normal side keeps coming through and he doesn't get it quite right. Here it is.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm sitting in my car, making another entry in my collection of vlogs. Today I want to talk about the kind of men that girls are attracted to. You see, ever since I hit puberty, I've wanted girls. I've desired girls. I've been sexually attracted to girls. But they've never shown any attraction back to me. And during that time, I've tried to question why. Why aren't they attracted to me? Even though during the last 2 years, I've tried really hard to appear as attractive as possible and to be as attractive as possible. And I've often made theories of the kind of guys that girls really are attracted to. After going to college for 2.5 years and seeing all of the horrific sights I've seen there, mainly all the young couples walking about, the guys who actually have the hot girls, I've concluded that females have a very flawed and perverted form of sexual attraction.
This awkward smile he does when he says sexual attraction is interesting. He's shy and he's uncomfortable talking about sex. This was something he wrote about in his manifesto. He talks about being disgusted by pornography and shocked that people could do such things with each other. Again, this is at odds with the confident character he wanted to portray.
Like every time I drive around the area of my college or just walking through my college, I see that all of the beautiful girls go for the big, obnoxious, boisterous, beefy jock types. It's the same in high school, though I never, thankfully, got to experience the brutality of high school because I was homeschooled for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade.
You can see Elliot breaking character again here. He sounds less scary, his tone becomes more conversational.
What do you mean,
I
Maurice?
just realized that him being homeschooled during high
Maurice, what are you saying? You thought the BK Rogers theory was correct. What's the BK Rogers theory? Are you talking about that he was Papa Rogers? Is that what you're saying? I think so, considering that it stopped. If what I heard is correct, like that he stopped responding after Bryan got arrested. and that he knew all that stuff ahead of time. And now that I know maybe where he got Roger, the name from this guy, which does link him back to incels, Bryan, if he is indeed Papa Rogers. But I don't know what you're talking about, the BK Rogers theory. Is just that? I think there's a good chance. I don't know if it's, 100% you could prove it, unless I'm sure, yeah, actually, you know what? I'm sure FBI, if they went through his computer, they'd be able to prove that it goes, but that the Papa Rogers goes back to Bryan. I bet you they're able to prove that, huh? But they're not going to tell us that now. Yeah, I think so too. Hey, Casey. All right, I'm going to skip through this a little bit. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, I don't want to use all his, because this is a documentary, where he probably put a lot of time into it.
He was with this. Videos look like they were meant to be the beginnings of other videos Elliot Rodgers was going to upload, but he gives up and stops filming after a few seconds. Other videos in his last video before uploading it. The next two videos look like they were meant to be the beginnings of other videos Elliot Rodgers was going to upload, but he gives up and stops filming after a few seconds.
How did he get him then, if he didn't upload them? I wonder how this guy got them. Or were they released, like in the Discovery or something?
Oh yeah, I gotta make sure your hair is perfect for the camera when you're going to talk about getting revenge on society. Do I look better with the sunglasses on or off? Oh my, am I sexy or what? Okay, so you can see how vain he was and how this was all kind of a performance. I think this next video is the most interesting one. He drives through the streets of Isla Vista at night while a bunch of house parties are going on and talks about what he thinks. It looks like he intended to upload it to...
Oh.
He's a bit better at doing his character.
Yeah, but Michelle, he could have changed his name. Because, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but most accounts, like let's say you have YouTube account and you change your name, you could still be like, it still will go back, oh, you created that like in 2010, but you changed your name, right? So have you ever seen, no, I don't think we'd be able to know for sure. Yeah, so it still could be Roger, right? He could have just changed the name to Rogers after it happened, Papa Rogers. Usually, that's how most platforms are. If you change it, you can't tell. It's whenever the account was created, right? Hey, Jesse. Hey, Michelle. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that wasn't what the name. But if it looks like Bryan is Papa Rogers, what else would that name? And the speculation that he possibly was an incel and like hated women and all that stuff, and if all that comes true and then he did indeed kill 3 women, then wouldn't you think that name, since that name is known to the incels, he's like the King Rogers, wouldn't you think that that's how he picked it? Because what else would it mean? It just fits too perfect. It'd be weird if it wasn't. That is, if that is for sure Bryan. You know what I'm saying? It would be too weird if that wasn't what that meant. Because it's not like, what else could the Rogers come from? It's not like that's his name or anything where it's like, well, no, that's his name too. Or I feel like it has to be.
Character in this one, but still occasionally breaks character by being his normal self, by being too sad, and by coming across as too forced with his angry outbursts.
Hey, Elliot Rodgers here. Right now I'm going on a little tour through Isla Vista on a Friday night. This is when all the college parties happen. Look in there. There's a party happening right now. I believe it's a fraternity of some sort. Yeah. I'm going to show you all a short little tour of this college town called Isla Vista, which is located right next to UCSB. Every time I drive through this place, I am overcome with rage because I see so many guys walking around with beautiful blonde girls, enjoying their lives, while I've lived here for more than 2 years in loneliness. No one's ever invited me to parties. No girls have been attracted to me. I've never had the pleasure of walking through this town with a beautiful girl on my arm. I've had to watch other boys experience the life that I deserve. I'm going to show you all right now exactly what I've been suffering through. This is the main center of the town where all the shops are. And I'm about to drive to the street that's adjacent to the ocean, and that's where all the house parties happen. You see? Groups of young people everywhere.
Would you guys be interested if I did a video sometime, maybe on reading
Approaching the street
his manifesto
called
and his diary?
That's the main street.
Because I'm going to read it myself. I'm kind of interested, but should I make a video? Would you guys be?
Walking around here. But they would never give me a chance. See, look at that one. I just passed one. It would reject me at every turn. Young couples walking around. It makes me so envious. Here we are. It's still only 10 p.m., so it's not very active yet. It usually gets active at around 10:30. Look, that's the house I got beat up at when I walked in on the party. That was about almost a year ago now, back in August of 2013.
Of course, what Elliot Rodger doesn't tell you is why he got beat up there. He tried to shove a bunch of girls off a ledge because he was angry at women in general for not wanting to be with him, and a bunch of guys jumped in and shoved him off the ledge, breaking one of his ankles. While he was hobbling home, he realized that he had left his $200 Gucci sunglasses there, so he went back to get them. Unfortunately, he was so drunk that he went to the house next to it instead and started demanding they give him his sunglasses back. At this point, the people there had heard about what he did, so their response was to call him a pussy and beat the crap out of him. In Elliot's mind, he was a victim, and the people who beat him up were all brutal, horrible people. Anyway, the next part coming up is fascinating. Elliot Rodger devotes a huge amount of time in his manifesto and in his videos talking about how he sees all these stuck-up sluts with brutish, obnoxious guys, but never explains why he thinks these people are sluts or brutes. And so one of the questions I had was, what's he seeing that's making him think that? What are the guys doing that makes him think they're brutes? What are the girls doing that makes him think they're sluts? Or is he just projecting here? Well, we're about to get a bit of an answer to that.
Here we go. Look at this. Groups of hot young sluts who would just reject me.
Okay, so because they're attractive and wearing short shorts and revealing tops, they're all sluts who would just reject him. Got it. Also, one of the girls made a funny comment that you might not have heard. Let me crank up the volume and I'll show it to you again.
Groups of hot young sluts who would just reject me.
What is that freak doing, she says, as she
Oh.
noticed some guy was driving by slowly while filming her. What indeed? Elliot Rodger probably heard her say this, but didn't care.
See? And these, look at these douchebags right here. These assholes, these obnoxious little slobs. Those are the kind of guys that girls like, instead of magnificent gentlemen like myself.
Oh my
And
God.
because these guys are young dudes who wear normal clothing, they are douchebags and assholes and obnoxious little slobs. I suspect Elliot hesitated there because he realized he's actually much littler than them. So it seems like these judgments are based solely on appearance and a huge amount of projection by Elliot Rodger. His next comment shows us the absurdity of thinking this way, which he doesn't appear to realize.
I don't know, guys.
You guys like this. Oh wait, no. Not guys like those. Those guys were ugly as fuck.
Hey, Keith.
Oh yeah, those guys are douchebags, assholes, and obnoxious slobs too. Oh wait, they're ugly. Never mind. He still looks down on them for being ugly though, which goes to show that Elliot's believe what he wants, and everyone else apparently sucks. And
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, if you guys want to watch the whole thing, I'll link it in the description. I'm just gonna.
Horrible, disgusting men.
Actually, here I could do it now. Let's see.
Never give me a chance. That's why my life is so unfair.
Up here, there we go.
Oh look, even more houses full of obnoxious.
Well, wait, hold on. No,
It's right there.
gosh darn it. Sorry.
so this time he can't even see any of the people in the house, but obviously it must be full of obnoxious college students. Ridiculous. If there's one thing we should realize with all of these snap judgments, it's that Elliot Rodger was so deep in his own misery and feelings of rejection that he projected his expectations onto everyone he saw and even people he didn't see, which made him more miserable and made his feelings of rejection worse. And because he didn't really interact with others and put himself out there, this became a vicious cycle that was never challenged.
All right. All right, I think I'm going to stop with this video right now, but
it seems I never will.
all right, so let's do, let me remove this. Here, I'll share it though. And then, actually, let me just put it in the source real quick. Okay, so then, so would you guys be interested if I did like one reading the manifesto and his diary? Let me just, yeah. All right, 1 second. Let me just put this in the description so I don't forget. What was that channel called? Zephyr. Hold on, let me write this out so I could put it. Zephyr the 7th, and they actually, yeah, I'm putting it in the description. Okay, guys. All right. Well, let me say bye to y'all and then see what you guys. Oh wait, here's one more I wanted to show. Hold on, of his dad. There's like just like a couple minute one of his dad. Oh, look at this. Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta share this. It looks like he's on the carpet at the Hunger Games. Do you guys see that? Well, here you can see. Wait till you see, so you can see the thumbnail. Hold on, look. And that looks like his dad. Let's play this. Let's see. Let's see, killer Elliot Rodgers walking the red carpet at the Hunger Games premiere in 2012 with his dad, Peter Rodgers' stepmom. So my yeah, right there, I guess, and there's his dad. You must have had a really hard life. No, I know. I mean, he could still have had a hard life, even if, wealthy or it doesn't appear on the outside or if I'm not.
J'étais très fière.
But still, I feel like he just was like entitled in a way, like expecting all these girls to just like fall over him when you have to have some kind of personality, like I bet you he never even tried to like ask a girl, or the way he did it was probably just like creepy, where he didn't really, because he's not an ugly guy. He definitely could have got girls if he just did it, like knew how to ask them. And all right, let's see what his dad, this is just like a minute, and it says Elliot Rodgers' father discusses his son. Let's just see what he has to say.
Tonight, you'll remember this face, Elliot Rodgers, the gunman from that shooting rampage at UC Santa Barbara last month, killing 6, wounding 13 others, and the chilling videos he left behind, so many asking, were there warning signs? Tonight here, his father is speaking for the first time with Barbara Walters, who asks, did he know his son was sick?
How are you?
Every night I go to sleep, I wake up and I think of those young men and young women that have died and that were injured and were terrorized. And my son did that. My son caused so much pain and suffering for so many families.
When you wake up in the morning, what do you think?
It's like a reverse nightmare situation. When you go to sleep normally, you have a nightmare and you wake up and, oh, everything's okay.
Yeah.
They keep
Now
going
I might have a nice dream. And then I wake up and then slowly the truth of what happened dawns on me. And, that is that my son was a mass murderer.
You did not think that Elliot was suicidal or certainly not homicide.
There's no way I thought that this boy could hurt a flea. I mean, this is the most unbelievable thing, Barbara. What I don't get is we didn't see this coming at all.
Did you know that he was sick?
No. This is the American horror story, or the world's horror story, is when you have somebody who on the outside is one thing and on the inside is something completely different, and you don't see it.
And Barbara's with us here now. And Barbara, I wanted to get back to something he said to you. He said, we didn't see this coming at all. And a lot of people at home are going to say, we saw the videos of that boy. How did they not see any warning signs?
Well, they knew their son was troubled. They even thought that he might want to take his own life. They never thought that he would want to kill others.
Yeah, this is going to frighten a lot of people. Much more tomorrow night. In the meantime, you told us you'd be back time and again with special assignments, and it's great to have you back tonight.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to end it. I'm not sure if I'll get to the Murdoch one. If I don't, we'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, it's true. I'm actually going to visit Juliet Wednesday, so I'll be gone Wednesday to Friday. So I'll try to do one Monday, and then probably won't do another one until next weekend. So tomorrow is Monday. And then, like I said, I'll be from Wednesday to Friday. I'll be busy, and then maybe Saturday or Sunday when I get back. If I'm not, we're out. Oh yeah, shoot, the trial. I'll try to watch it. Yeah, wait. So I guess I could do it. And I was thinking about even doing an early one, but I'm like, if I'm talking about Murdoch tomorrow, if the trial's on in the day, I can't do it in the day because everybody will be watching that. Yeah. So I'll either have to do it in the evening or Yeah, that God, we went down the rabbit hole of Elliot Rodgers. That had me interested. It's making me want to go read his manifesto and his diary. So would you guys though? How many people? Oh, there's no. That's right. It's a holiday, isn't it? It's what's the holiday tomorrow? Because I was meeting with I had an appointment with a guy at the bank, and he's like, "Oh, Monday's a holiday, so we'll have to do it Tuesday." And I forget if he said what holiday is it. Hold on, did he tell me? I don't even know what holiday it is. Oh, President's Day. Oh, okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna go because I'm a little bit hungry. I'm gonna go. I have a piece of pizza down there from yesterday. I mean, leftover from my family's Average pizza. The best pizza. It's like the only pizza I like around here anymore. Like some of my favorite pizzas that I used to get, like they're gross now. So like Zavarelli's is the only one I like anymore. And I'm not just biased. I mean, it's the only one that really tastes good. So maybe I can do. Oh, so the thing is that I can do an early live tomorrow, like in the day. Okay, cool. All right, bye guys. Little Smokey, hey. Well, let me say hi to a few people. Hey, AM, keep grinding. We got Dino in the house. Soul, Liz, Stella. So how many? Okay, if you guys want me to do a video reading that, do a thumbs up, and if you don't, do a thumbs down. I'm just curious if anybody's really interested. Because I mean, I am, so I'm figuring maybe you guys will be by Water Love and Dog. Did you ever answer if that was your dog? With a little mohawk, it looks like. It's so cute. Or is that just, am I like looking at that right? Okay. Oh, you do, Casey? Leftover pizza's the best. Sometimes it's better. Like I don't even, Zavarelli's, like I like it, hot, but then when I eat it the next day, I just eat it right out of the fridge. It's good. Bye, Alibi. Oh, thanks. Okay, Alibi. One sick Karen, Jennifer. Okay, cool, man. All right. 14 asterisk. What's up, Jesse, Mark? Ooh, we got a little RW and AM. Are you guys like flirting? Cold piece of rock. Yeah. Are you guys flirting? Okay, Water Love a dog had a golden retriever named Remy. We did Water Love and Remy Newfoundland. Oh my god, he's so cute. I love Remy. Give Remy a kiss. Give Remy a little kiss and a hug from me. He looks so cute. Is it a he or she? I know the initials are in love. Is it a he or she real quick? It's so cute, whatever. Oh my god, it looks so cuddly. It looks so freaking cuddly. I want to see him. Oh my god. He looks slobbery too, I'm sure. Oh yes, yes. Give him a kiss on the snout. Oh my god, I love him. Hi, Remy. Oh, he's so cute. All right, Karma 360. All right, bye, guys.